Now at 6, the KOAM Roadshow rolls on. This time we're in Lamar for the largest free fair in Missouri. Plus, tragedy leaves an empty stable at a therapy horse ranch. And
some MSSU buildings and AC units are having a hard time keeping up with the heat. I'm Fernanda Silva, and I'll show you these strategies the university is taking to make sure their students are healthy inside and out.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The largest free fair in Missouri is happening right now, and we are here live. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. Lamar Free Fair celebrates its 80th year with a complete takeover of downtown Lamar. Now, this week-long event includes a carnival, vendors of all kinds, a queen contest, community and civic group booths featuring your favorite carnival food, and most importantly, for some fairgoers, a livestock show. Fairgoers can also expect a parade tomorrow. Well, some Missouri Southern State University's buildings and AC units are struggling to keep up with the extreme heat hitting the 4 states. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
When biology professor David Penning noticed Reynolds Hall was getting hotter than usual, he was concerned, not only about his students, but also about the more than 250 snakes and other reptiles he takes care of in the building.
We've been putting ice blocks and stuff in some of our cages, making sure animals don't get too hot and all sorts of stuff like that. Professor
Penning also had to deal with the hot temperatures himself.
It was terrible. I've sweat through my shirt almost every day I've lectured in this building so far. Here in Reynolds Hall, at least, it definitely got balmy up to, I'd say, probably 79, 81, something like that. We make it about 20, 30 minutes in and everybody's, waving papers or something.
On the first week of the fall semester at MSSU, some classes were canceled and others were held online. Some professors chose to move their classes to cooler classrooms and other buildings. Exchange student from Japan, Yumi Fakao, wasn't expecting the hot temperatures that hit the 4 states area, especially when studying in rooms where the AC was not working properly.
It's uncomfortable to be in the hot classroom. Yes, I couldn't focus in my study so much.
Fakao is not the only one reporting having a hard time concentrating.
It can just make learning a lot more difficult because of those conditions.
It's just challenging to be focused in an environment when you're uncomfortable.
One of the strategies the university is adopting is placing water stations inside the buildings where students can come and grab a water bottle. They're also adding extra fans to some classrooms and dorms.
This taxes all of our systems across the spectrum, and we work very hard. Our facility services teams works hard around the clock to ensure that everything is in working order and that folks have what they need.
While it might feel better inside some buildings,
we're still pretty well in recovery mode right now. I don't think we're smooth sailing so far.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Some of MSSU's welcoming events also had to be relocated because of the hot temperatures. And speaking of hot, we've definitely got some hot temperatures out here. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at weather.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't relocate the entire fair indoors because it is sweltering out here. It looks like I've taken a shower, and I promise I haven't. Well, this morning I did, but not now. We have very hot conditions across the area. In fact, we saw temperatures well over 100 degrees in southeastern Kansas, southwest Missouri. We saved the hottest for last. But there is relief in sight, and we have some showers and storms developing on radar. They're scattered around, but they're going to become more numerous as we go into the weekend. Let's zoom in on some of the activity in and around the Lamar area. Pretty big storm just west of Stockton. It is not severe. It's just strong right now, but at least it's putting down some rainfall and also some cooler temperatures. Speaking of cooler temperatures, we're going to be seeing temperatures dropping through the 90s, down into the 80s, about 76 by tomorrow morning. And then, Tanya, I think as we head towards the lane, we're going to see Saturday evening storms, Sunday morning storm chances, much cooler next week. But unfortunately, on the bearer of bad news, the heat wave might be making a comeback. Yeah, just what you wanted to hear,
Hopefully
right?
It won't get as hot as it is right now.
I don't think so, but a little bit above normal than what we're expecting in the early part of September. But we'll deal with that later.
All right, thanks, Sam.
All right.
Well, extreme heat has defined summertime for the 4 states this year, but it's not just a human problem. Our furry friends are battling the heat, too. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked with a local horse therapy stable about their recent loss.
A wild Mustang named Trinity is known for healing hearts at Trinity Circle Equestrian Therapy. After all, it was named after him.
I'm actually diagnosed with complex PTSD, and Katana and Trinity were my therapy horses. That was actually how I started doing this.
On August 20th, temperatures reached 99 degrees and Newland knew something was wrong with Trinity.
The heat stressed his system, which caused an abscess in his gut, and the abscess, we believe, ruptured, is what actually killed him.
Everyone, human or horse, was heartbroken after the loss of Trinity.
It was heartbreaking because he died just over here in the pasture, and several of the horses actually came by and checked on him, and they sniff at each other's noses. They get the breath, and they checked his breath, and you could see he's not breathing.
To keep the other horses cool, Newland installed fans inside the barn, posted more mineral blocks, and maintained the watering hole.
Almost every day. We've canceled clients this week because it's just too hot, and we don't need to lose another horse or a human. I named him Trinity for me, God, and my horses.
Reporting in Goodman, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, constant cool breeze and cooling baths are some ways to keep horses cool in this heat. A Cherokee man learns his sentence for a non-fatal hit and run that happened in Pittsburgh last year. On Thursday, a judge sentenced Brian Walrod to 8 months in prison. Walrod will then serve an 18-month probation. The judge also ordered Walrod to pay more than $30,000 in restitution to the victim who survived the hit and run. The hit and run happened on October 28, 2022 in the 1400 block of East 14th Street. Coming up, we've got an interview here at the Lamar Free Fair to learn more about what's going on when we return.
Nice save.
Well, the weather didn't stop people from heading out to the Lamar Square to join us for our latest stop on our road show. And one of those people is Chief Joe Moore from the Lamar Police Department. And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this interview with us this evening. I wanted to talk to you about safety precautions that you're taking. It is so hot outside. What are some things that people can do when they come out here to the fair?
Right, so we would encourage everybody to obviously stay hydrated, drink a lot of water. It is still warm here tonight. Hopefully the sun will go down here in a bit and it'll cool off some. We do have a cooling station directly behind us. The ambulance barn is right across the street here from us, so we're prepared for any kind of emergencies. But yeah, stay hydrated and prepare yourself for that, so there isn't an emergency.
Now we're set up on the square, and I see just a couple booths behind us. There's actually a first aid station too.
Yes. Cox, Barton County has set up a first aid station here. They've got some coolers and stuff there going on too, misty things and stuff. So if something gets hot, they can sit down there, and if there's an injury, they can be treated there as well. So.
Well, you've been out here working the fair for several years now, and I just wanted to talk to you about what you do in preparations for putting on this size of an event.
So the entire city does a lot of work here for the fair. You see the electric things set out. The electric department puts that out. Street departments. You see the streets are shut down. The entire fair was shut down, or the streets are shut down on Tuesday. We're prepared for it, and then Tuesday night we start setting up. Everything comes in. And what's neat is Saturday night at midnight, this stuff goes down, and in a few hours you won't even know there was anybody here. So it's but yeah, we do. The city overall puts in a lot of work here for preparing for the fair.
Definitely a community effort.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Chief?
We did talk about our booth here, the police booth here. It's been at least 20 years we know that booth's been there every fair for over 20 years. And what we do is we encourage people to come in, bring their child here, let them know they're there, and several times through the night, children will get separated from their parents. They'll use our fair booth here as a place to reunite. So we encourage that as well.
All right. So if you lose your kids, head to the police booth here. Maybe have a discussion with your kids before you get here that if they get lost, that's where they should go. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Well, a little later, it's football season for McDonald County as the Mustangs get ready to take on the Mount Vernon Mountaineers in their season home opener. Brock has more in sports.
Welcome back to the KOAM News at 6. We are live from Lamar, where it is sweltering hot. Of course, it's sweltering hot across the entire 4 states. However, we do have changes in the forecast, and that's good news. Let's take a look outside right now. at Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. They have some clouds down there due to some thunder showers that were in the area earlier that have now dissipated. But look at the high today in Joplin, 101, which actually tied the record set back in 1983. Record low of 53. And we're going to get close to those record lows as we go into the middle part of next week. But we have to get through the heat first. We have some storms on radar, not too far away from Lamar, up to the north and east, up around Stockton and El Dorado Springs. So they're getting a little bit of dose of water right now. There were a few showers earlier in southeastern Kansas, but those have now dissipated. And now it looks like we just have a few clouds from that. Right now, we're looking at a wider view. You can see excessive heat warning in effect for southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight. And also a heat advisory for northwest Arkansas. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now. Look at the rain cool degrees in Iola. 84 right now, 87 in Nevada, but it's still 101 near Stockton last hour, 101 in Sedan. So it is really sweltering across the entire four-state area today. And that's because the dew points are still in the upper to middle 70s. At least we got rid of the 80s for the most part, although it is 80 degrees right now on the dew point in Nowata. And that's what's making it feel so unbearable out there. In fact, soupy on the dew points. And it feels like right now here in Lamar, 103 is what it feels like. But it feels like 112 down in Grove. So it could be worse, I guess you could say. And then as we look at tomorrow, we're going to see some improvement. We're going to see it feeling like in the low 100s. I know that doesn't sound like much of an improvement, but at least it's headed in the right direction. Up to the north, it's going to feel like it's in the mid-90s. But there is hope on the way as we head towards the latter part of the weekend. But also look at the rain chances. They're going to be increasing over the next 36 hours. Rainfall amounts are going to be hit and miss. Some areas are going to get more than others. Some areas could get maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Most areas, though, less than that. But at least we're getting some rain in the rain bucket. Ridge of high pressure over us is going to retreat back to the west. That's what's going to allow the storm system to move in from the north and west, bringing us some chances of rain, but also cooler weather and also drier air. That's the key as we go into the forecast. Drier air makes it feel a lot more comfortable. So tonight, lows in the mid-70s with scattered showers and storms around. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms around with highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Then as we go into Sunday morning, lows in the 70s, so at least we're getting a little bit better with scattered storms down to the south. Sunday afternoon, nice. Temperatures in the lower 80s with northeasterly winds. And guess what? The nice weather continues into Monday with highs in the 80s. And look at that. By Wednesday, we're looking at a low of 58 and Thursday, 59. Can I deliver or what?
Thank you.
All right.
Could we have that cool down start right now?
I wish. I would volunteer for a dunk tank right now.
I would too. Well, it kind of looks like you've already been in one.
Yes, I know, but I haven't. I promise. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks. Still ahead, John Dales is live at Lamar High School for the game of the week. More on week 1 of the high school football season coming up next.
Hey, welcome into sports and welcome to Lamar High School for the KOAM game of the week. Usually around now there would be a lot more going on in the field behind me, but every single game in the area getting pushed back to an 8 p.m. start time because of the heat. But this one here this evening between Lamar and Marshfield, the Tigers are one of the best programs in the entire state of Missouri. They've been to the state championship game 3 years in a row, but they've lost the past 2 years in that state title game. That's made them a lot more hungry to go out and win it all this season. Now a little bit more about the Tigers in 2022. They started that season playing Marshfield on the road, won that game 48-0. Shutouts would become a trend after that point. The Tigers would get 5 shutout wins the entire season. Their only loss in the regular season came at Seneca in week 4. They got to that state championship game and lost 32-27 to Blair Oaks. Now, heading into this season, the Tigers do lose 8 starters on the offensive side of the ball, so things could look a little bit different early in the year. They bring back several impact players like Kyler Nance, a senior linebacker who's first-team All-State, All-Area, and All-Conference, along with Ian Googie, first-team All-Area wide receiver and second-team All-State. But A little more on the Tigers later. For now, Brock Baldridge over at McDonald County for another big game tonight between a couple other Big 8 conference rivals.
Hey John, I'm out here at McDonald County High School where the Mustangs are set for their season opener at home going against the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. Now, head coach Kellen Hoover is coming off of his third consecutive winning season with the Mustangs, and this year the two teams will meet once again after Mount Vernon got the best of McDonald County in the season opener last year.
They're a great team, and you know, if we could come off the field with a win, it would really propel our season forward. And so our kids are excited just to get out and play. I mean, it's week one. You know, if you're not excited for that, you know, you don't have a pulse. And I think our kids are really excited. It's just kind of been building through, you know, our own scrimmage, through the jamboree, and our kids are ready to get out on the field. And you know, what better opportunity than a really good Mount Vernon team coming to our place?
Well, we're all ready to just give it our all. Like we've made it a big priority just to get a lot of physicality in these practices and just a lot of game planning going into them. And we're smart, we're ready, and I think we're definitely going to be the most physical team out there.
And I'm expecting this matchup to be much closer than the season before. Both teams have really good groups of seniors on both sides of the ball, and we'll have highlights from this game right here tonight at 10. John, back over to you now.
Brock, thanks so much. Lamar, Marshfield, McDonald County, Mount Vernon, those are just a couple of games that the KOAM sports team are going to be at tonight. A lot of other action going on in the area. Joplin, one of the best teams in the area, playing on the road at Branson. Carthage and Webb City, both on the road as well. Crossover game between Oklahoma and Missouri. Sarcoxie heads to Commerce and plays there. All of those games and a lot more as well tonight. You're going to be able to catch the highlights and all the scores on 4 State Friday night. Again, that's at the second half of KOAM News at 10. But for now, that's all with sports. We're back with more news after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. New details released in a McCune, Kansas murder investigation. Plus, how a fashion show is raising money for Special Olympics Kansas. And we'll hear more from some Lamar Free Fair exhibitors showcasing their animals today. Those stories and a lot more tonight on the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
And when severe weather strikes, you can download the KOAM News app, and we actually have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
That's right.
Not for Lamar. It's up to the north and east in Stockton. We can actually see the cumulonimbus cloud in the distance. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45 tonight. Small hail, gusty winds, heavy rain, and a little bit of lightning activity. Nothing really major. As we head towards the weekend, we're going to see more of those scattered showers and storms, and because of all the heat and humidity, some of those might become severe. We'll keep an eye on it. But the good news is cooler weather as we head towards next week, with highs in the 80s to start out, with lows in the 50s. And then unfortunately, Tanya, as we head towards the latter part of the forecast, it looks like we're going to be heading back into maybe a heat wave again. Fingers crossed that it's not going to be close to 100 degrees again, and hopefully the humidity will be lower. But, you know, summer is hanging on for dear life, but at least we get a little bit of a break over the next few days.
A couple more things we wanted to reiterate. We're out here at the Lamar Free Fair. 80 years of doing this fair. They've got it down. They've got a police station right behind us. So if you lose your kids out here, you can find them there. They have first aid stations over here. Plenty of places where you can go rehydrate. Make sure you hydrate.
Yes, especially tomorrow.
Hot. Yes.
Sunday's better, but tomorrow you definitely need to be taking your heat precautions. Absolutely.
The big parade that they have is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to feel like about 105 tomorrow afternoon for the parade.
All right. Well, thank you for watching us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.